Good morning, everybody. And it's Teepa and Matthew. And a few of you have been wondering about this thing called genetics. Like, so my grandma had it, my mom had it. Does that mean I'm going to get it? And so when I get that question, the very first thing I'll ask is, how old was your mom and how old was your grandma when she first showed symptoms? Now, Matthew, why would I ask that question
Oh, yeah.
early in the conversation before I answer somebody how, like they got it, am I going to get it?
Yeah. So asking about how old were they when they first got it. And I wonder if part of that curiosity goes into knowing early detection, early diagnosis, and how things have worked in the past, the difference that would make in someone's life of when they got it if they were younger versus when they were older. And so does that increase the chances of it actually being a for sure diagnosis of dementia or something else? Is that
Oh, see there, oh, Matthew, you went a different direction than I was
I
going to
did,
go.
I
Mine
did
is
totally.
much more simplistic when
Well,
I
I've
ask that
never
question.
I,
I'm not thinking that deep. I'm like, okay, well, let's find out how old was the parent and the grandparent when they first showed symptoms, because age itself is a risk factor for developing
yes,
dementia, and it doesn't have really anything to do with your genetics.
right.
The older you get, your risk goes up till you hit about age 80. I mean, for many dementias, you just keep increasing in risk until you hit 80. I mean, somewhere around 60, 65, 70, it starts kicking in gear. It goes from about 5 to 10% of the population on up. So, we haven't talked about which dementia it is. I'm just interested in how old the person was. I mean, so somebody says, oh my heavens, well, she was great up until then, I know more. Okay. All right. So it was a later life one,
Yeah.
or it was realer. My mom was only 55. It was like, ooh, okay, well, tell me more about the symptoms that she had first. Because now what I want to explore is sort of like, okay, so what were the first symptoms? Because now I'm curious about the different dementias that are possible. And if they say I don't know, then I go, oh yeah. Well, let's talk about some other things, like how much distress did your mom and your grandma live with? Like, were they typically pretty distressed all the time and they worried about things and they were concerned about things, and they may have even had a diagnosis of anxiety or depression? Was that true about them, or not? Because what I'm sorting through a little bit, helping them think about, is there are lifestyle things and there are personal sort of situations that can drive what happens in our brain and our bodies. Um, Sort of like, if you've always been careful about what you eat, your risk of going having diabetes is lower, even if your family tends to get diabetes.
Right.
We also need to be interested in, like, okay, so you find out you've got a genetic risk factor. Now, there are a host of genes that can increase your risk for a variety of dementias. There are just a very few number of genes that are autosomal dominant. So
Awesome.
now I'm going back to my younger years when I was at Duke and I had to take a class in genetics. And dominant means if you get one of the genes from either your mom or your dad, you get that gene, your risk profile, I mean, 50%, because you don't know if you'll get it from your mom or your dad, but if they have it, and you get, because you get one of those options from each parent. So if you get the one that that person has, which is a 50-50 shot
Yeah.
in most cases, then your risk for having a dementia, if it's one of those kind of dementias, is 50%. Yeah.
So Teepa, okay, so that's great to know that idea of okay, so here knowing that if mom or dad had it,
Hmm.
which this is where my curiosity comes into play. That means that mom or dad had to have gone and got tested, and that's how we found out that they had that. Is that correct? Or
Well, I mean, either they had to be tested or they had to be evaluated somehow, or you have really good data that what you were dealing with was a dementia, and a specific kind is helpful.
okay,
Because a dementia, general dementia, is like, we're still in the vague zone here. because APOE4, which
Mhm.
is one of the alleles, it's APOE2, 3, or 4. It's on a marker, it's a gene. Fours are higher risk for dementia. It keeps you alive during a famine,
Oh,
but it increases your risk of developing dementia if you live in a time of plenty.
oh,
Uh,
hmm.
and
Interesting.
it's also associated with vascular and Alzheimer's. And it's associated with eating too much, having obesity, having diabetes. Okay, so these things sort of add together. So when I add those pieces, what I'm saying is even if you have that gene coding, like you have an APOE3 on from your mom and a 4 from your dad, your risk is higher because you have one of those fours. But if your lifestyle your whole life has been one of exercise and
Yes.
moderation and good social connections and good sleep, and you haven't put on a lot of fat, like, just fat, especially cortisol fat. You haven't done that. Your cholesterol's pretty good. Your blood sugar's pretty good. I mean, your risk is way down compared to the other dogs in the kennel. So it's sort of like one of those ideas of like, well, it's a risk factor.
Mhm.
Now, on the other side, and those are not autosomal dominant. Now, autosomal dominant means, like, for instance, the genetically related presenile. There is one presenile gene that if you get one of those, it's a question more of when you're going to have the symptoms because you will probably at some point, relatively younger in your life, because it's a younger person's dementia, develop a dementia. Now, how profound it'll be, how much you will impact your life, because there's other things that could be going on as well in your life. Um, there, even with twin state, they've done twin studies, and with the autosomal dominant, still there can be very different patterns. People could live well into their 60s, and they also have cardiac problems in their family. And if that's the case, you may not experience dementia. You may experience cardiac problems. You might experience diabetes. I don't know. I mean, so this whole idea getting genetically tested at this point, um, I will say that if it was me, again, it's if it was me and I was young and I was contemplating should I have children or maybe I'll adopt children because I do have some stuff that runs in my family. Then I might go say, you know what? I'm wondering what my probability is of carrying around. I mean, do I have two APOE4s? Do I have, some of these other genes that are higher risk genes? I want to know that, or do I have genes that say I'll develop MS? I mean, maybe my risk is up. Some people want to know their risk patterns so that they can think about family
Yeah.
relationships, like planning for a future with family. I mean, some people might make choices about other things. In general, in my mind, I mean, for me, and again, this is for me, I mean, I don't know that I would change my lifestyle that much because I choose to be involved in the world of dementia support and care, even though it's sort of a stressful world to be in. I choose to do a lot of travel to go speak with people and to share. I choose to, deal with my sleep as I deal with my sleep. I mean, I make choices,
Yeah.
and so it's sort of one of those things. It's like, would my choices change a lot?
Mm.
But what do you know about me that tells you that I am sort of different than some other people?
But you're here
What's
with
different
us.
about me, Matthew? What do we already know about me?
Yeah. Well, you are definitely a risk taker.
I
You're
am.
not a safety
So it's
seeker.
like, roll
Yeah.
the dice. Life's happening. I'm going to be in life. I'm not going to sit around and worry about what might happen. I'm going to do the best I can, plan ahead, and then it's like, okay, we'll jump in the water. Let's see what happens.
Right.
I mean, I don't get immobilized by having to have all the details worked out before I move forward. So for me, it's like, it could be interesting. I mean, I mean, if it's there, it's there. I mean, added to which by now I've made it to over 70. So it's like, okay, well, I'm on the high side here. So it still could happen. I mean, for sure it could happen.
Yeah.
I have some people in my background that say, yeah, maybe. But as of right now, despite what some people think, the reason I'm not on the road so much is because I have dementia. It's like actually the reason I'm on the not on the road so much is we're doing Snow Approach Foundation here. And when I do go on the road, I have to arrange a lot of coverage for me to be out of here for a bit. And there was this whole thing called COVID, which messed up a lot of transportation opportunities because getting from place to place, I will say, and I know you've experienced, it's not as easy as it used to be.
No, it's not.
So
No.
that, like people go, well, but, you're not doing as many talks. It's like, true, not internationally, maybe, but I actually, have been to Chile and I mean, I've been to Australia. I mean, it's not like I'm not going anywhere.
No. Well,
So,
and Teepa, and let's be real here for a second too. How many years
mm,
outside of COVID, how many years have you been traveling around and doing this and talking to different people
mm,
and doing courses and things like that? I mean, I
yeah,
think it's
well over 20.
I
I
think
mean, so well
I
over
think you
20.
deserve I think you deserve at least a few years of a break or not traveling so much because snow approach is huge. It's super important and it takes a team to do what you guys are doing in snow
Yeah.
approach. And when you're not there and there's so many other things going on, it makes it that much harder to truly do this
To
mission.
sustain. I mean, because we've got a lot of things we've built now that we're sustaining here and using as demonstration. I mean, so even though I'm here at Snow Approach, I'm doing consults like all over the place. So that's tricky too, because, we've got that. We're doing videos that we create. We're working with other groups trying to expand the opportunities that people have to learn things in a variety of countries. Um,
And
so
so
anyway, back to, I mean, if we want to go back to our, oh, go ahead. You want one
well,
more
well,
thing?
and this is how I feel like this ties in really well with what our topic is today. Because okay, so what is Snow Approach doing that's an alternative to this idea of, oh my gosh, I need to go get tested and I need to
Yeah.
go find this stuff out and figure out if I have this or if I'm going to have it or if I have a higher risk of it. So what is Snow Approach doing?
Yeah. So one of the things that we do is we offer people, have you ever been screened to establish your baseline on some cognitive abilities? I mean, have you ever had that happen? Okay, well, let's go ahead and at least get your baseline. And then every 6 months to a year, we can redo that. And that would give you a heads up if something's shifting for you. We also, in that say, if anything you're comfortable to talk about with your health, your well being, your mental health, your social connection. And then we do a little piece of brain education. We say, okay, so given where you are, given what's going on, let's look at some opportunities you have to choose to change or to keep going like you're going.
Yeah.
Did you, I mean, we want to give you some info about your brain, and then let's see what happens. And so we have people who then come into community or they start making some slight shifts, and we encourage slight shifts. And so we've had people come back and have done better on their screen because they said, I started realizing I was not doing X. When we talked about it, I was realizing, I've really cut back. I didn't realize how much I had cut back, but I started trying to do some of those things. And you know what? It got easier. And so it was like little shifts. So that's what we're doing in the meantime.
Well, and on top of that, I think you guys are doing a whole lot of stuff. In fact, you
Mm,
offer a whole lot of stuff complimentary that all
we
fit
do.
in the categories of the things that help to decrease risk as well. Is that true? Is that
Yeah, we do individual consults. We have families come in and get consults. We have an exercise program. We have other groups in our building that do tai chi, that do chair yoga. We've got other groups that do line dancing. We have women in networking coming together and sharing and supporting one another to de-stress worker company owners. We're doing a program with Duke Hospice
yeah,
to sort of look at toward the end of life. We have other programs, so we have our brain cafes, we have care partner educational support groups. We're doing a variety of things here that we hope people will come, take a look at, decide to get trained about, and
yeah.
then go out and do it yourself.
Okay, so
Um,
how do we get doctors to start writing prescriptions? Go to Snow Approach
I don't
Foundation.
know. We went to UNC's family practice residence program. We did a HEALS program where we went and we took a friend of ours, Charles, and his wife, Deborah and daughter. Miranda, and they went and they talked about for family practice. Here's a family that after 5 years was told, "Wow, you're one of the hard ones. I mean, we really don't have anything to offer you. I mean, we're going to send you back to your primary practitioner.
You're my greatest failure.
You're my greatest failure." Not
That
just once.
I
Wow, this is
yes,
really, I mean, I
yes.
have nothing to offer. This is really a big failure for me. And it's like, great. Added to which, what we shared with the learners is like, and you're going to get them. So tell me what you know about
Yeah,
post-cortical atrophy.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, if you don't know a lot, it's time to bone up on that skill so that when they come in, and if you don't, go ahead, use your prescription pad to say, if you're unfamiliar with some of the resources here, here's a couple I want you to really go check out. And the next time you come in, we want to talk about whether they were helpful to you or not. Really move away from the med thing. Because for him, there's not a lot of med stuff that's going to make a positive difference. If pain is a problem, we need to cope with that. But building a program that actually serves better. I
mhm,
mean, that's what genetic awareness could do, but not if it's going to scare you. I
yeah,
mean, I don't have an answer for that because what we know is that genetics in and of itself is not 100% of anything.
not 100%.
Lifestyle matters, age matters, sense of how stress, excuse me, how many stressors in your environment are there?
Yeah,
Really looking at the features of how life is lived matters.
yeah,
So there you go, guys. Um, you asked the question. If you want more details about the different dementias, there are some that are sort of genetically linked, but then all of a sudden, wow, that's a spontaneous mutation. This
yeah,
person just had a spontaneous mutation. Nobody else in the family has it. We've tested everybody else. Nobody else has it, just them. And it's like, oh, well, where did they get in the line they got? They shouldn't have gotten in that line. And
mm,
so it makes us go and look, okay, what could have caused the spontaneous mutation? And this is where we get into things like viral load,
mm,
environment exposures, lifetime episodes of exposure. I mean, it's not easy. This is like multifactorial. So for those of you who out there are worried and want to talk more, let us know. I mean, we could have a conversation. If, however, this has eased your risk pattern, scare, right? Then let it go and move on. If you are interested in the kind of thing of like, what kind of screening should I do, get a baseline, and keep up with? Well, you can ask us about that too. Till next time, take care of yourself, take care with your care, and stay curious about living life well. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Teepa. Bye, everybody.